Is it on? Hello? Hi. Hi, everybody. Tiffany here. Welcome to my channel, Tiffany's Quilting Life. I'm your host, Tiffany. Tiffany. That's it. Get used to it. I'm just kidding. Anyways, today's Sunday. It's Sew Sunday, where we always sew on a Sunday. And this, for a lot of you, is like, whew, I'm so glad, because this is the last episode of this this double wedding ring. Why did I say Dresden? I have no idea. It was on my head. Anyways, this is going to be the last of it. I told you I'd save the last of it after I got the last 2 or 3 rows done. This is it. This is the final. I'm just going to finish it off today. And that way, nobody has to suffer through the double wedding ring any longer. Because it did take a while, and, well, you know, it did take a while. And we're going to finish it.
Didn't like it.
So, anyway, so let's see who's all here. Well, I can't see who's all here because it's not fully loaded. Let's see. Steve or Norma, Lori, Aldia, Judy, Belinda, Karen, Brenda, Cheryl, Vicky, Judy, Grace, Teresa, Becky, Marlene, Gloria, and a lot more. So, hello, everybody. Let's finish this double wedding ring, shall we? And those that have followed along, hopefully you are at the end stages, and that my Saturday video that I did last week, was it last week? It was last week, I think.
Yes, it was last week.
To show you guys how I figured it out for those that decided they wanted to try on point just like I'm doing, because apparently I've heard from several people now, they've actually never seen a double wedding ring on point. So who knew that I'm the only one that's trying this? I mean, no, I've seen it in a picture before. I know I have. But let's finish it so we can stop talking about it and be done. And then when I quilt it, obviously I'll show you. But that will probably be a while from now. It's not going to happen today. So today we're just going to finish what we started. But the first thing I need is to put my seam guide where it goes at the 1/4 inch, because I was sewing other things with very wide seam allowances, which hopefully Tuesday you guys will see a new video of something that's been asked for a very long time, and I finally got a chance to do it. So I did not get that correct. Hopefully Tuesday you guys will like the new video being put out. But I got to edit it first, so let's just cross fingers for Tuesday. I painstakingly spent my day yesterday filming just to get a whole video done in one day. It takes a lot of work to move the camera and do this and do that. So anyway, my 2 rows that I have to add to finish this thing off are pieced. Doesn't this look weird? It's like a mustache. Oh, it's a face with the wing mustaches. I know, silly, right? So that's final row. I'm just going to toss that behind me on the floor. The row I need first is this one. And now I got to find where it goes, because this has been bunched up and thrown on the floor for the past week. Okay, that's a top. So let's see if I can't open this up and show you guys. Is that it? No. Is that it? Yes. So if the quilt is held up, you can see it's unfinished on that edge. So we are going to finish it. No, this won't fit on the wall. It's too big. It's too big to go on the wall. When I'm done and we complete it, we'll go out to the living room floor so you can see it. So I'm going to lay this right here and make sure that this is the row that goes here, and which direction I'm sewing it does not go that way. It goes this direction. There is a lot of turning right side up, upside down, right side up, upside down when sewing this quilt together. But I'm going to start with right side up and hook this middle section first because it's literally right here. And making sure that this whole thing is on my desk. And then I showed you in video 6 up close on how this goes. So I'm just attaching this to my halfway point, making sure that everything's lined up. Now that I've figured it out how to do it, it's actually quite easy once you get the hang of it. I'm not pinning or anything because, you know, there is no need. I have done, I would say 85% of this quilt, there was no pinning. And I found that it's laying flat. The only thing that doesn't lay really flat is when live stream, what were we on? 3 or episode 4, something like that, where I had it on the wall and I started piecing it and I had it all wrong. That section don't lay flat, but I'm not picking it out. I'm leaving it. The quilting hopefully will, you know, take away the mess upness of it. The mess upness. That's my word, and I'm sticking to it. The mess upness. So I'm just stitching right up to where I need to stop. Right there. And then I'm going to flip this whole part section right here over and attach this upper side. Like I said, it's lots of ups and downs. It's probably the most annoying part. Is flipping it over and over and over again, especially when it's this big. This is going to be, I think it was 93 by 100 and something. I don't know. It's big. You know, it's go big or go home, isn't it? Right?
Yep.
So I made sure to do a big quilt like always. I'm still on the fence on whether I should keep it, and I'm still on the fence about a second outer border. I might just leave it at the first border, which we will do in today's video.
Is there a specific number you set your top thread tension at?
My top thread tension, okay, hold on, I gotta put my glasses on because it's really close to me. It's between the 2 and the 1. It's literally in the middle of the 2 and the 1 on this machine. And my bobbin tension, it doesn't come out on its own. It's rather tight. It's not like the long arm. So it's a little on the tighter side. When you first get it, you can't even pull the bobbin thread out of the tension disc in the bobbin area. It's not very forgiving. But after a while of using it, it loosens up. And I've had to change it a few times for different kinds of thread that I've used. Because I did sew with silk thread, so I had to loosen it all the way at one point. Alright, and then back the other direction. I'm going to attach my 2 little end pieces, which is what's setting this on point. And then we'll put the other side on and get those centers done. Lots of topsy-turvy with this thing. Lay flat. Thank you. Alright, and the upper one. Alright. Oh, I sewed one more on the bottom. Ay, ay, ay.
Oh, yeah. When you're doing that, should I show me?
Scott's going to show you the breakfast at Tiffany's. I did the butterfly wall hangings. They're going to new homes. So before If you missed that video, check it out. I made those. I only quilted the one he's showing you now in the Breakfast at Tiffany's video. I did free motion. If you guys, haven't seen it yet, it's been a long time since I did free motion. So it was done though, and I show you how. And then the other one I quilted off camera, free motion still, because I had already prepped it for free motion, not for the long arm.
It's got hearts.
And I quilted hearts into it. Let me just tell you, when you don't do it for a very long time, it's not, for me personally, it doesn't look right. I do it on the long arm constantly, but sit down, I don't. And so I was very frustrated because it was killing my shoulders, and I didn't want to do this and didn't want to do that.
It's got hearts. It's beautiful. There for a bit. It stays.
All right. Let's get this one on here. The last of the corner, and then I'll connect all my 4 patches. I did enjoy making this, although it was very frustrating in the beginning. In the beginning of piecing it together, not the making the footballs and all that stuff. That part wasn't bothersome at all, but the actual piecing of the quilt, that's when I started getting frustrated, which in video 5 that you can see my frustrations. But you know what? That's real life frustrations. All of us go through them. So we all have those times where those quilts, my bucket list quilt definitely gave me more patience than I've ever had. Because I find myself to be a very patient person, but this quilt tested those patience. All right, now that I have all those, it's time to, I try to do the 4 patches before I forget about them. So I'm going to line these ends up. I'm not hooking like sewing them, but I'm putting the curves on top of each other. I think it makes it a little bit easier to keep this 4 patch nice and flat. I'm going to push this little doohickey out of the way, our seam allowance. Run this under the machine and start my stitching where it ends at those connectors, which I showed you in the Sew Saturday video 6. Stitch to the center. Fold that little guy down. And stitch. There's 1. There's number 2. See, this could all be done without pinning. It's just a lot of extra work, that's all. Trying to keep everything flat. And another one. Line this one up. Oops. Nope, don't do that. Stay where I put you, you little thing. Fabric doesn't listen to us. I'm telling you. I'm gonna have to put it in timeout.
Do you have a backing fabric picked out for this?
Do I have a backing? No, I do not. I don't have anything picked out besides putting 1 border around it. I don't know if I want to put another border because I don't know how much bigger I want it to be. Can you plug the iron in?
Yeah, I wouldn't even tell it because it's running it off.
I have to rip out a single stitch right here. So blurry. Come on, one stitch. There we go. Nope, 2 stitches longer. I went beyond where I was supposed to. So it's not folding properly. There we go. Okay. Put the needle down in that spot. Missed that seam. Oh man. Fold this back. All right. I should have gotten all of them. One, there's no hole there, no hole here, no hole here, and no hole there. All right. Now, I have one more to hook on. See? There's that end, and I just got to add the corner. Like, how fast is that?
What's the fabric that you use for the background?
The fabric that I used for the background is called Ecru. This color is Ecru, this cream, and this is brown sugar right here. And all the prints are just everything that I had that I bought a bunch of, and stuff that I had that was all the vintagey feel for a traditional style double wedding ring.
Tell them these are all on a playlist.
Yeah. If you missed a video, they are all in a playlist. So if you just go to the playlists on my channel, all the public playlists are there. You can see. It's all there. Number 6 is even in there, which was a So Saturday. And I press after each row I add, by the way. That way everything stays flat. I'll have to press the whole thing when I'm done, though, because I'm going to be trimming this thing. Just a little bit of trim needs to be done.
Are you going to do another Mariner's Compass?
Another Mariner's Compass. I really wanted to do one in black and purple, just like I wanted to do this in black and purple. I just haven't.
Off camera.
Oh, well, I'm not on camera. Thumper came for a visit.
Somebody's on camera.
He wanted to say hi.
He said, Mama, I'm the star of the show now.
He needs a trim. Yep, I'm coming back. All right.
He said, I'm the star, not the mama.
Last section, and the top, most of it will have been done. Woohoo! All right, so this end goes there, that goes there, and then the other one goes down. I shall start with the underside for a second. And you got to make sure that the quilt stays on the table, because if not, it's really heavy and it'll start yanking when you're trying to sew it, and then it'll just throw everything off if you're not pinning like me. All right, lining it up. Okay. Flatten everything out. And walk this around. You always have to have the inverted plate, is what I'm calling it. You have to have that on top at all times. Every time you add a row to your double wedding ring, that goes on top. That's why I'm flipping it over and over and over. Top, bottom, top, bottom.
How big is this quilt? You know?
Yeah, it's going to be 90 something by 100 and something. I think it was 92 when I measured it, and it wasn't really fully done yet. I've laid it on the living room floor a few times so that I can make sure I'm getting the next row done.
They're pretty big.
Yeah, this one's pretty big. All right,
what I
now flip it this way and attach my two end pieces. We still have to attach the corners as well. I haven't done that. I cut them out, but they're just sitting waiting for me to finish this part first. All right, line this up. Alright, once I get to the middle, I always line the end, and then the rest of it I hold with my fingers with that nice curve. And while I'm right here, I'm going to close the forepatch on this side, and when I do the bottom one, I'll close it right after as well.
Where do you get all your quilting shirts from?
All of my quilting shirts. Well, everything that has got like a saying or something on it comes from online and or friends or subscribers send them to me.
That one you made?
And this one that I'm currently wearing, I made on my embroidery machine. I mean, the shirt I bought at a thrift store. And then I just embroidered Tiffany's Quilting Life on it. Which I did to a few tank tops because I live in Arizona. So unfortunately, I wear tank tops. I know some people that have been on my channel, they like when my tattoos are covered because they're old fashioned. I don't know, but everybody has tattoos. Anyways. I wear tank tops in the summertime here, so it's hard to wear a full sleeved, a regular sleeved shirt, you know. But I made a couple tank tops and I made a couple regular shirts. Some came out better than others because I don't really know how to do the embroidery on my embroidery machine on clothing. I can do it on cotton. I just can't really do it on clothing very well. It doesn't ever come out right. Once it's washed, it always, even with the, what is that stuff called? The stabilizer stuff, it always shrivels in and gets all messy. And I've tried like 5 different brands of stabilizer. I have tons of stabilizer, but none of them are correct for shirts, I guess. But I make them anyway. I haven't in a long time. The ones I have are the ones I have. Close the forepatch. And this is the last of it besides putting on the 4 corners. Can you believe it? It's done almost. Away. Corner is on. I just need to press it, and then we'll add the 4 corners. And then I think I have to press the whole entire thing. Because, yeah, and then you guys can just face the ironing board while I try to do that. Because it's a lot. This is a big quilt. And then we'll trim it because it needs to be pressed before trimming. Because it is very wrinkled and I don't want my trimming to be messed up. All right, and my 4 corners are going to be bigger than they need to be because I just used the template that I showed you I got in the mail. I think video 4 I showed it. So I'm just going to attempt to line it up on here. Where did I put them? Right here. So I just cut them out from the template that the lady sent me in the mail. Just need one to start. It's going to be way bigger than it needs to be. I'm going to center it on here and pin it, I think. That way it just lands just right. So here's the last of the pinning. Fold that, find the center. We'll do that to all 4 corners. Only because the piece is a lot bigger than it needs to be. And it's not lining up exactly the same as everywhere else. Yeah, it goes beyond where it needs to be. The rest of that I can walk it. This is probably why my shoulder is messed up.
Probably. Do you need me to help?
Nope.
I can easily pick it up for you. But yes, that's obvious right there.
All right, sewing the corner. And I'm gonna do all 4 corners before I press them all. That way we can spend the time at the ironing board pressing this whole entire thing. Alright. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, let's find another corner. Woohoo! Found it. Find the center of this thing. Center it there. Honestly, yeah. Put a couple pins only in the top part.
Are you really going to put borders on it?
Yes, I'm going to put 1 border on it so far. That's all I'm at. And that's this brown sugar color all the way around. So that way the double wedding ring part is floating. We want it to float. Since it is on point, you know? Okay, sure that's correct. Looks good. Next corner. I know it's the corners because there's nothing there. These. Oh, and my hair is just all over right here. It's picking it all up from the floor. I made a mess in here yesterday filming like a superb mess. I'm not going to tell you the video and the content, but let's just say it's a messy make.
Yeah, it is.
I made quite the mess in here. And my OCD was kicking in while I was making a mess, and I'm like, I gotta clean this up, and da 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 da. Scott just vacuumed in here, and
Yeah.
it was.
I just
It's now.
on Friday.
It looks like I haven't vacuumed in here in like a month. It's pretty crazy. All right. But you'll still want to make it, even though it was messy.
Does it need a corner?
Does what need a corner?
Your quilt.
It's getting the corners right now. Because I'm not doing anything round on this thing. We don't want no round edges. Not even the corners. All right, 1 more corner. And then we shall press this whole entire quilt, which is going to be hard because my ironing board is only so big. You know what would be really cool? Is if we had a big, huge, open space, and you just lay it, this specialty thing that unfolds, and it's a giant ironing board that's like 100 inches by 100 inches, and you lay it on your living room floor, and then you put the whole quilt on it, and then just crawl on it while ironing on your way down. Then you don't have to wrestle with anything. Wouldn't that be amazing? But nobody has that much space. I don't even have a 100 by 100 inch floor in there. Every time I get a client quilt that's big or make one that's big myself, I can never lay the whole thing out on the floor. It always touches the long arm thing and the corners of the shelves and the couch or the rocking chair. But it would be awesome. Just one giant pressing board. Right now I'm using Orfill. And I've never known if I'm pronouncing that correctly either. It could be Aurifil, it could be Orfill, it could be, I don't know, Aurifil, because it has to spell with an A. I have no idea. I just say Aurifil. Kind of like exaggerating my A. Aurifil. So it almost sounds like an O. All right, 4 corners are on. Let's press this huge thing, and you can see what a pain in the butt it's going to be by having Scott move the camera to face me doing it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm pulling the ironing board away from the window as well, so that I can toss the whole entire thing on the floor behind it. I don't know what edge I'm on. I just know we need to toss it over. Line this up. Let's make this somewhat flat. It's going to get wrinkled as we go because that's just how it works. You wrinkle it as you're ironing it. Try not to pull too much. This whole quilt is a bias quilt. All right. I'm just going to try to get the most of the wrinkles out. There's no best way to press it, so just do what I'm doing. Run the iron back and forth. All right, I'll get this corner real good. Yes, I made this ironing board cover. It's new. In the last 4 months or so, I made it. Very carefully, pick it up, slide it over. Hang over the side that I just ironed. And this is a steam iron that was sent to me that I am using. So it's constantly steaming, which I like because it gets rid of the wrinkles faster, I think. Okay, let's get that corner nice. Okay, now carefully pick it up, put the next section on the ironing board. Nope. And then straighten it back out. So you tell it lays pretty flat. Surprisingly, even though I had quite the hiccup along the way making it. This is also helping me see if I missed any of these 4 patches that come together right here. Pressing the whole thing. Because if I missed any of those, they have to be sewn. There's a whole bunch of loose threads on this thing. All right. Slide it over now. The chair's in my way.
Ow!
Sorry, guys.
Sorry to them. It hit me in the
It
head.
hit Scott in the head. Was not in the correct position, and it just got thrown.
It wasn't the correct position. You moved the chair.
Oh, right side up. There we go.
You moved the chair.
I accidentally hit the chair. That was not supposed to happen. There's not much space to work in here for such a large ironing board. It takes up a lot of the room.
Thumper came in to see what's going on.
Yeah. Thumper came to see what's going on because Daddy got hit in the head. Mommy's beating him up.
I gotta come see what's going on.
All right, then I lift right here. Go to the next section.
Mama's beating Daddy up.
This is a lot of work right here, my friends. This is why I like my big ironing board, though. Oh, he's coming to say hi again with a close-up. All right, see, these are the areas that's messed up from my first initial sewing, and I am not fixing that. I can't hang it on the wall. We got to go to the living room floor, but I got to trim it first before I go to the living room floor. No, I'm going to trim it first, add the border, and then we'll go out to the living room so you can see the whole thing.
What's the name of the quilt hanging behind the ironing?
The quilt hanging behind the ironing board is just a traditional little Lone Star, but it's a Lone Star wall hanging. It was made from the leftovers of a quilt that one of my friends has that is called Not So Lone Star. It's a whole entire video series about making it. It's like 4 videos on it or something, maybe more. Oops, I stepped on the cord. My ironing board is 60 something by, it's 64 by 27, I think, or 26, something like that. All right, right here.
I think you said 64 by 26. Yeah,
See, it's getting wrinkled on the floor as I go, so I try not to step on it. All I'm doing is making a giant, big, huge mess here.
Oh, you're doing good.
I'm trying not to wrinkle as I iron. It's really hard not to do that. Nope. Yep, all of my original areas are kind of messed up. Here's an original before I got the technique down. I have a lot of, what is the word for it? Creases, but that's nothing I can't hide in the quilting. All right, now we gotta pick it up and go this way. Very carefully, like. this part has to be done, so before I attach a border. So if you did on point like me, you got to make sure you iron it first. Of course, yours is probably a lot smaller than mine. Okay. Here, lift it up, bring it towards me some more. We're almost to the top. Trying not to step on it because I don't want to re-wrinkle it. Jim already put a link in for what?
The Lone Star videos.
The Lone Star videos, yes. I've made a whole ton of Lone Stars. Some of them I haven't even did on camera yet. I made them off camera and said I was going to make a video and never got to it because I got other things. I was doing other things at the time. Oops, I just dropped some bobbin off my shelf. I don't know where the other one landed. I'm not going to worry about it. I'll pick it up later if I remember. I'm going to call this the workout quilt. It's the double workout quilt. It's a workout putting it together, and it's a workout making it flat. I think this is the last. Right there. It's the last of it. Yep, I hear him. He says, I need to be involved. I'm not involved in whatever you're doing. The cat's meowing up a storm. He's become very, very vocal with age. The older he gets, the more he meows. All right, pick it up, move it this way without wrinkling it too much. Finish this corner. So here's the wrinkled section. This was the starting point corner before I realized what I was doing, so it does not lay flat. But when I quilt it, it will, hopefully. And giving it a little bit of ironing is helping a little. But right here, it's not good. All right. We're gonna move the iron completely out of the way real quick. I'm gonna take this to the desk, keeping it as flat as possible so that we can trim it nice and straight.
When you quilt it, will you purposely not quilt the flat part first?
When I quilt it, will I purposely not quilt the flat part first? What do you mean? I have no idea what we're talking about. Squeeze past here. Iron off? No. Oh yeah, turn the camera, yes. He's really going crazy out there. All right. So now I need to make this corner square, and I'm literally trimming off a little bit, and I'm going to do it equal with all of this. So I'm going to lose a little bit of fabric, but a little bit of the double wedding ring, but it's only on these, what what is the word for it? 4 patch areas. And this was my messed up side, so it's not perfect. I'm just gonna lay that on here. Right there. That's straight. And that's straight. Now I'm just gonna go up the side. I don't have, oh, I do have one. All my other rulers are in the other room right now.
Do you want a different ruler? I'll look at it.
Nope, it's fine. Right here,
Where's
just
your one with the handle?
cutting off.
You don't want your one with the handle?
No, it's on the floor and I don't need it. And the handle's not even on it right now. Cutting off this edge.
Okay.
Nice and straight, nice and straight.
Are you going back to the ironing board with something?
Nope. Well, after I put the borders on, yes.
My point is trying to put the chair back.
Yes, you can put the chair back. Nice and straight. We're gonna put that right there. I'm wrinkling the crap out of it again. That's straight enough, though. I guess there's no perfect way to do this, you know? There. I know all this work that I put into this, and I'm cutting off a little bit of it. But we're going to add the brown sugar, so the color. All the way around, which will finish it off. What was that, side 3?
I have no idea.
I have no idea. I'm literally just losing that corner of the 4 patch, just so that you guys know that's what's getting trimmed off. Great. Come on. stuff right there. Did it again. Ruler slippage. Nope, I am at the end. That wasn't supposed to happen. Oh well, I'm leaving it because can't put the fabric back on there.
What'd you do?
Oh, I let it slide. It slipped on the way around. All right. I'm just going to leave this as flat as I can over the desk. We are going to put this ruler up and away. This ruler up and away. And grab my 2-inch strips that I'm going to hook them all together end to end. Yep. Stay on the desk. I need to cut all the selvages off real quick. I don't want to sew with them on. I also don't want to roll over the quilt. So I cut 2-inch strips to go all the way around so that it looks like the double rings are floating. At least my envision of it looks like it's floating. In my mind, that's what I see. I think I cut 13 strips, which should be plenty because it's a big quilt. And I'm just going to attach the borders the same way I do any borders. Only because, honestly, it doesn't matter for me. I'm my own quilter. All right, let's chop all this selvage off at the same exact time. Stack these up, and I'm going to sew them end to end by taking the bottom piece out, and then the next two should be right sides together all the way until you get to the last one on the top. I think there's 13 strips here. I wasn't even counting when I was straightening them out. Two. 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 This is just my way of making borders. The quilt is already stretchy enough, so adding borders with bias cut, doing the 45-degree angle cuts, to attach it, it's just going to make it even more stretchier. So this is the best way. just to have straight edges. And then my final piece was here. All right. I'm gonna throw it to the side of me. I'm not even going to press it yet. I will press when I get to the iron after each attachment. I have no idea if this is tops or bottoms. I'm going to guess because this side looks pretty darn long. Put it all on my lap. Put the rest on the table. And I'll do two sides and then top and bottom. And then I'm hoping that this will just look okay without another border. All right, here we go. Move that out of my way. Move that out of my way. There. Take a drink and start sewing properly. Huh? Yeah. No, right here is fine. Yeah, sure. All right, I've come to my end. It's all on the table, so I'm just going to fold it over like I do all my borders. Line up the edge. And then slice and dice it to the size it needs to be. Now I'm going to take this whole thing and find the opposite side. Put that whole thing on the desk. Bring this up here. And grab the opposite end of this border fabric. Make sure that my seam is face up. Put it on my lap. Okay. We are going to run an auction while I'm sewing this. All auctions always start off at $10. Shipping is free. You guys know how it works. If you're interested, type the number and tell however long, and then we call it, and so on and so forth. Shipping is free to everybody in the United States. If you're outside the United States, you need to pay your shipping. So there's a table runner and 6 placemats, and 2 of them are facing backwards so that you can see they are reversible. They are coffee fabric, by the way. You should have held one up to the camera.
I will.
He's seeing how big they are. 15 by 48 on the table runner, and the placemats are This is from point to point on the placemats.
16.
16, but not point to point
It's
is
16 point to point, not point to point is 14.
14, not point to point. He's going to hold one up so that you can see, but all the fabric is the same in all of them.
And they're reversible.
And they're reversible. That's the back side. It's the pretty purple we chose while on live stream.
Purple flowers. Purple flowers.
Got my corner on the table. Just going to flip this up. Cut it to the size it needs to be. All right, I'm not going to go to the iron yet. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to finger press this back at my start, turn it to the side, bring the whole rest of the side onto my lap. We're going to see where the seam lands because I definitely don't want it landing in the corner. You know how that happens. You know, I have a pet peeve for that. Don't want it to land. All right, perfect. So we're going to put this up here. It's just finger pressed back. Lay it on top and start sewing down this side and then go to the other one. Or top and bottom. I don't know what we're at because I obviously wasn't paying attention to the direction.
We're bidding on the coffee table runner and placemats. It's on the
It's
wall.
bidding for the coffee table and 6 placemats that are on the wall.
52.
It's at 52. Almost to the end, and then I'm going to press that back with my finger before I cut. But first I want it completely on the bed of the machine. So I'm just finger pressing it away from the quilt. Fold and cut. All right, now for the opposite side. And this will stop it from being stretchy down the sides because it was very stretchy. This whole thing is all bias since I did make this on point. So this is going to stop it from doing that. All right. Which is perfect because then it keeps it as square as I can get. It's not going to be that square though. Trust me, we did a really sloppy job on that. But it's as square as I'm going to get it. We'll measure though when we get to the living room and lay it on the floor. We'll measure the top, the middle, and the bottom in both directions to see how square I actually got it though. He's going to show it one more time up close. I think it's at 80, I think is what I see.
It says Cafe Diem.
Instead of Carpe Diem?
Yes,
it says
Carpe
Cafe Diem.
It says Cafe Diem.
Yeah.
I
wasn't even...
Today, coffee today.
Yep, coffee the day.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
I mean, come on, that's hilarious.
Coming up to the end, I'm going to finger press that back real quick. It's on the table all the way. Oh, so I didn't need as many strips. I needed one less. I think I cut 13 though. So I needed 12, not 13. But that's okay. There's a strip for whatever. All right, I'm going to press these borders and then we're going to go to the living room floor.
You want me to turn the camera?
You don't need to turn the camera. We can just talk. What's in the chat? Any questions while I'm pressing?
We're at 86.
It's at 86, by the way, for the auction.
So we can call that before we go
Yeah.
to another room.
But before we go to another room, if you want to bid, it's at, what is it again? 86. But before we go to another room, let's see if we can, I'm pressing right now, but in a minute. Oops. Oh, it's stuck under you, that's why.
I'm sorry. Hold on 2 seconds.
I was wondering, I was like, this cord is long enough.
Sorry.
It's going to take me a minute because this is a big quilt to press the border real quick. Oh, it definitely looks good with the border. I'm glad I did that.
I like it.
Yeah.
It doesn't look bad that you had to cut off the little edges.
Nope, it doesn't look bad either. Nope. That I cut off the edges of the circles. All right, one border down. 3 more sides to go.
Here. The bidding seems to have stopped.
All right, bidding seems to have stopped. What is it? What is it at?
86 to Dawn.
86 to Dawn going once. Stop me if it's going twice. Sold to Dawn for 86.
Okay.
All right. Dawn, contact us. Let us know how you want to pay. As always, we take Venmo, PayPal, and Zelle. Obviously, most of you know how to get a hold of us when it comes to stuff like that. Yep, I did put it on correctly.
Do you press the top well before you quilt it?
I do press before I quilt, but this might be one of those exceptions that I'm just going to go ahead and quilt it because it's been pressed already. I added this border, which is getting pressed, and I'm going to fold it nicely so I shouldn't have to press again. Hopefully. That's just a big cross my fingers. Okay. That's the second side. 2 more sides.
Thicker, I don't know. This is going to stay.
I like that I switched this to the brown sugar around the outside since we didn't have no more ecru and we couldn't get no more.
Yes.
I think it finishes it perfectly.
And this one's number 2.
Number 2 auction is going up next. Again, starting at $10. Free shipping within the United States. Outside the United States, you pay your shipping. This one is a Southwestern style. It's a table runner with 4 placemats. This one only has 4 placemats. And the back is just like country-ish style. But the front has dream catchers and is amazing.
They can't let Dawn with everything.
Yeah. You can't let Dawn win everything, guys. Somebody needs to bid. She probably owns the most of my little things.
We're at 80.
All right, 80. 85. This one's a nice.
I like this one.
Yeah, this one's nice. This one is the one I made off camera to make sure that the idea worked. So that way I was able to give you guys the pattern. We did this, what, 2 Sundays ago or something? I don't remember. Okay. While the auction is going on, I'm going to go lay this on the living room floor and get the lights on. You can unplug this iron for me.
Are you going to auction this quilt? Say no.
No, I'm not auctioning this quilt, no, that I'm making. You guys can keep bidding while looking at it. I'm going to situate. No. I was going to lay it out, then come out here. I was making sure what direction the living room floor will take it. It's going this way. Sorry guys, it's really big, so it's taking up pretty much the whole floor.
It is taking up the whole floor.
Yep, it's taking up the whole floor. Yep. He's going to bring the camera out now. Turn another light on. We'll take a break on the auction bidding and come back to it. Unless you guys want to keep bidding while it's there. You know what's hanging on the wall.
You want me on the downside?
Just
You want me in the hallway?
right here.
Oh, that's what I'm asking. Where do you want me? Here, you can decide. I'll go back in there.
All right. Sorry, it's not laying very flat at the moment. Most of my wrinkles will come out with quilting, but it doesn't lay flat because there's like no room for it to lay out here properly. Yeah, once I quilt it, it will get better. It's definitely off though, a tad bit. We're going to measure in 3 spots just to see how good I did. All right, there's the end. It's 108. I'm not sure if it was exactly on the 108 because, you know, right there. Oh, 106 and a half. Yeah, it's definitely off. This was my first on-point double wedding ring, which nobody else does. So, you know, it's bound to be crooked. 107.25. Yeah. Whew. Let's see what it is this way.
You want me to help you?
No, I got it. 93 exact. Let's go to the middle. All right. As soon as I see that edge pulling. 93 exact. Ooh. Is the bottom going to be 93 exact?
Well, it's not fully flat either.
It's not fully flat on the floor, but the up and down is very off.
Well, maybe it's not that far off. It's not fully flat and it's not fully...
93 exact. So side to side is exact. Up and down is not. But then again, it's not fully flat on the floor. Well, I was going to kind of like do an above.
Oh, yeah, do an above.
So if you have never seen an on-point double wedding ring,
You square it up.
I don't need to square it up. I already squared adding the sides. So I think it looks good without another border. I'm going to leave it just as it is without adding more. I think it finishes it just right. Obviously, the wrinkles will come out when I press it again and quilt it. And if they don't, quilting it will still come out, hopefully. And if I have to pucker, I hide puckers anyway with my quilting. So, yeah, it didn't lose much on the sides. It's just a tiny bit, so it still looks like it finished off. You know? I'll probably do a dark brown or something for the binding, yeah. I might take some of this fabric that I had and cut it into strips and bind it with that. I don't know. Anyways, but that's an on-point double wedding ring. All right, so I'm gonna put this back in the room.
Hey, you ready for me to take the camera? Or am I taking the quilt?
You take the camera.
Why don't I pick up the quilt?
I got the
Here,
quilt.
is it?
Nope, I'm folding it.
Okay.
You can continue the bidding now. He's putting it back in there. I don't even remember what it was at. 125. And we'll call it as soon as I get into the room. I'm just folding the quilt inside out real quick until I can quilt it. It's at 125 for Dawn so far. So I'm literally folding it nicely inside out until I can quilt it. And it is going to get put on a hanger. You guys have seen it. I'm not pulling it out until I quilt it. It's going to stay because holding it up more and more is just going to stretch it out and wrinkle it more. So this is where it's going to go in the closet if I have room, which I don't, but we're going to pretend I do. Oh my goodness. All right, it's hanging up. It's done. Woohoo!
Let's call this.
All right, we are at
125.
125 for who?
Dawn.
Dawn going once. 125 for Dawn going twice. And sold. Dawn, you know how to contact us, you know how to pay, blah, blah, blah. All right, well, that's done. We're going to run another auction.
Yeah, it's only 6 o'clock.
Because I'm done a lot sooner than I thought I would be. I thought it would take longer, but you know. Again, next auction starts off at $10, free shipping within the United States. If you're outside the United States and you win, then you'll have to pay your shipping.
It's a pretty pink pin.
It's a pretty little pink baby quilt, or I mean, if you're crossing your legs while sitting on it, it could be a wheelchair size too. But if you're crossing your legs sitting on a couch or something.
Pretty, it's pink.
It's pretty, and it's all pinky, reddish pink, like rose red pink. And it is
40, 42.
42 by 41 and a half.
41, yeah, pretty much 42 by 42.
Yeah, it's pretty much 42 by 42.
It's not flat on there.
It's cute. It was quilted on the long arm with a wave because I didn't want to do anything to take away from the beautiful color fabric in here, but it's quilted in purple rose thread. We made it on a Sew Sunday live where we just started hooking pieces of scrap together. So it is random. It started with a 4 patch and then it has a 2.5 by 4.5 and then a 2.5 by 6.5 and then they're just kind of wonkily placed in there. But it's got a wave quilting on it. And the net's at 75 so far. Oops, there's a wild thread. Got it. All right, and then the back is pink and red like the front.
You can see the wave much better on the back.
Yeah, you can see the wave better on the back. And then this is a red sunflower fabric.
Oh yeah, there is sunflowers on it, huh?
There's sunflowers on it, and then the other fabric has little flowers. So the whole back and front are like 100% go together.
That is really cool.
Yep. It was a very fun little make.
If you have any questions,
if you have any questions, you guys can ask questions while this one's going.
We're at 80, I think.
Oh, Patricia's at 80.
Yeah, we're at 80.
What else do I have to do to take up some time?
Want to make any of your snail blocks or anything like that?
No, because that's a lot to take out. What's in this bin?
Somehow hot today was. Today was an amazing
Oh,
day.
today was a great day. Yeah. I mean, it's always over 100 here and it's always over 110. But today was only 90. Was it 96 total it got to for the high, which was great. Oh, I know what I can work. 97. I know what I can.
No, maybe it was 96. I don't know. But yeah, this morning was 77.
We'll work on these blocks. Let me go grab the fabric stash for those.
What's your next bucket list quilt to make?
My next bucket list quilt to make is none. I don't have any more bucket list quilts. I ran out of bucket list stuff. All right, I need that. And this. And this. All right, I'm coming back.
Where'd you get your magnetic seam guide?
My magnetic seam guide was a gift to me because the longer one was better than the smaller one. At least for the bigger machine. For my littler machines, it doesn't matter. All right, so I have the fabrics I need to make some of these little blocks. We've done it in a few videos, but...
Can you show your templates for the double wedding ring?
Templates for the double wedding ring. Let me move this stuff out of the way. Nope. Here are the templates from the double wedding ring, and here's the book that comes with it. It's old. It's an Omnigrid double wedding ring thing. It makes 15-inch, or they're close to 15-inch double wedding rings, but here's all the templates. You can do one solid piece, or you can do multiple solid multiple pieces, and so on and so forth. I found one copy of this whole set on Etsy when we first started, but it might be gone by now. I cannot find this anywhere. Other companies have double wedding ring templates, so that's that. I'm gonna piece a couple blocks of this while we're right here. What is?
SewingMachinesPlus or that quarter shop that you have?
Well, they have different version. They don't have this. No, not the one I have.
What other versions are there? There's the long one and the short one.
Jordan Fabrics sells to make square double wedding ring templates.
I'm talking about the magnetic seam guide.
Oh, the magnetic seam guide. Yeah, Fat Quarter Shop has it. They don't have the long one, I don't think, but you can look.
That's what I'm asking.
I thought you were talking about the double wedding ring set.
I asked you that before I asked you the double wedding ring.
Oh, okay. Well, grab 2 6.5-inch squares.
Well, tell them Patricia's at 80.
Patricia's at 80, yeah. Let's give it one more minute and then we'll call it. I'm going to grab some fabric here. Let's mix this up a bit though because.
What my paper and pen go so I can write down her name.
4 on 5. 5 of those. Makes that side. Let me see. Do I have one that's already got those? No. Nope. All right. Then that will be there. Then we'll do 2 of these. 1 of these. Oh, I don't have no 4.5s in here. Where are those at? Let's grab from here. I'll put a fishy on that one. All right, 80 going to Patricia going once, 80 to Patricia going twice, sold to Patricia for 80. Please email us at tiffanysquiltinglife@yahoo.com and let us know how you want to pay, Zelle, Venmo, or PayPal. PayPal does have a fee. Go further down. I need different colors here.
Also give us your address.
And also give us your address in that same email. All right.
We'll be going to the post office tomorrow.
And he will be going
tonight. It'll get in the mail.
to post office goes out tomorrow because we have a lot of client stuff going out. So it'll go into tomorrow's mail. So right now I'm just making some little blocks. Where is my finger presser? There it is.
3 good, or do they want to do another? I think 3 was good.
Yeah, 3 was good. I'm just making my little side blocks that I've been working on because I need something else to do since we're still have a half an hour left. This machine sounds like it's running so hard right now. I literally just oiled it yesterday. Oh, I need one more. Let's grab this one. So I'm just sewing up some of my blocks. You can turn the iron on and iron this for me. Should be 6.5 inches. Is it? Is it not 6.5? Oh, it is not 6.5. What? Press it. Maybe it'll be 6.5. I don't know. All right.
Where's your little pressing mat?
Down that you don't need it anymore on this because it's too patty. Yeah, too much padding now.
Now I want to use it and you won't let me? I see. Stop an Iron Man.
It's not pressed yet. It's still got a giant wrinkle in it. This isn't even hot. The iron's not hot yet.
Oh, well, maybe if you let me use the mat.
It wouldn't have mattered if the iron's not hot enough.
You want to touch it?
Nope.
It's steaming and everything.
Try it again. All right, I'm going to attach this to the end of this.
It's a steaming, lad. It's a steaming. If it's steaming, it's hot.
And then attach this to this. Oh, well, maybe I should press that seam that way.
Okay, I let it sit on it that time. Is that good?
Yes.
I just let it sit on
All right, here, press that. This is just shy. I need to take and put something else on here and then trim it off on each side. Let's just take one of the cruddy ones and do that. Apparently, I can only hook 2 together. And then trim it. There.
Oh, I ain't got a water.
Okay.
That might help, huh?
Yep. All right.
Tell them about your cutter.
My cutter is a
Martelli?
Martelli rotary cutter. It's for right hands. It's a Martelli rotary cutter if you've never seen one before. And there'll be a link in the chat eventually for it. Yep. All right. And then this one will go on top of this. And then these two. Press this way. This one, press that way. So I have lots of scraps that I cut down, for those that are curious, to specific sizes, and then I use those specific sizes to make this block that I just made. So I've been making blocks like this. They're just scrap blocks. All right, let's make another one. And it doesn't matter what corner I'm putting my...
Use the block for, you're just gonna make one.
Oh, I'm going to make a quilt. I'm going to make a ton of blocks so I can make multiple quilts.
Oh, are we showing them what it looks like? Should I begin with that?
No, it's fine. Oh, yeah, you can come in front of me. I don't know why you have it next to me.
Because they asked me.
Oh, that's fine then. All right, we're going to grab one. I'm gonna grab one of these. Yeah. We're gonna do another 4.5 inch. Ooh, let's use crabs. No, let's use this. And then we'll put crabs down here.
I could move the camera and put it straight down.
And then we'll put 2 of these. Yeah, you can make it face down.
What's
right
up to you?
Here. It's fine.
They can't see what you're doing there.
Yeah. We'll grab a green square times 2. One of these. So the cuts that I'm using for making these scrap blocks, and there's tons of different blocks. So here's the one I just made. And then I've made plenty before. I'm working on it slowly. This is one of those, just slowly work on it to use up my scraps that I cut to specific sizes, which I'll tell you in just a moment. As you can see, they're pretty much all similar. There are solids mixed in here. This is one place I'll use the solids, in these scrap blocks. Just skipping through. So the basics of this block, they start with 6.5 inch squares. I always put 2 6.5 inch big squares per every time I make a 6.5 inch block. So the other sizes I cut for these are 4.5 by 4.5 inch squares. Then I use 2.5 by 4.5 inch rectangles and 2.5 by 6.5 inch rectangles. Then I also use 2.5 by 2.5 inch squares, 1.5 by 6.5 inch rectangles, and because 1.5 by 6.5 and a 1.5 by 6.5 together make a 2.5 by 6.5. And then I also use 1.5 by 4.5 inch pieces because 2 of these together, sewn together with the seam, create a 2.5 inch. So that way I'm using all sorts of different scraps in different sizes, and more stuff can be blended throughout this quilt when I finally do make whatever out of it. So when I sew these 2.5 inch squares together, once they are pressed, now it becomes a 4.5 by 2.5. So those would go on here. And it always matches up with a 4.5 inch square, but I don't have to use a 4.5 inch square. I could actually use a 4 patch right here of 2.5 inch squares to create a 4.5 inch block. So it's pretty much one of those, the more scrappier I make it, the better kind of deals. So I'm just mixing them and matching all the scraps. And I pre-cut these sizes in my fabric room from scraps people give me, from scraps that I make when I make quilts, just from all the scraps. It gives me something to do when I'm, like right now, need something extra to add to my time so that we, aren't wasting our 2-hour time slot that I give you guys. Starting next week, I have no idea what we're going to be sewing up. It'll just be whatever I find to do. Put this to that. This is just a fun way to use up scraps. And I have heaps and mounds. And as you can tell by the containers, I have heaps and mounds already pre-cut for me. So I could probably make these over and over and over again quite a few times. It doesn't matter how I put them together as long as they match up. And these are on opposite sides. Oh, let's put that like that. Huh? All right, so this one. And it doesn't matter what two opposite sides I'm putting my 6.5 inch on any of this either. I'm just putting them one on each side.
Are these blocks for your quilt yardage?
No, these aren't for quilt yardage. Quilt yardage blocks, I have a whole ton of them to sew, and they're all in the other room, and I need like a day to start sewing all those up. But right now I'm not.
How come you didn't have me iron any
Oh, because this was all finger pressable until the big block is made.
So you're saying I should send you my purple scraps?
All sorts of scraps of all sorts of colors are going into this. And then this get pressed back. We'll send it to Scott to press it. Let's grab some more pieces. Well, is there? So let's grab 2 of these. I already did that guy. Let's do this next one down. One here. We'll put that there. Let's reach down in here and grab a butterfly fabric. Ooh, that's pretty. And let's do a second one of these. We'll do that. No, that one right there. And then we'll do a 2.5 inch square. The only size I haven't added to all this is the 1.5 inch squares, because I don't want them to be too small in case I piece it all together and turn it into a quilt back. Let's do 2.5, 4.5, 2 of those, and then let's do another 2.5 inch square. We'll do this bright orange right here, and then let's do 2. One of those there. Oh no, that's not big enough. I need 4.5 right there. Let's do these 2 and that. See, I can do whatever I want. It's, you know, one of those things. You can just sew whatever you want. These 2. These are the kind of things you can just have fun with. Use up the scraps. Obviously, I cut enough where I can sew with my scraps for years, because I'm always cutting new scraps. And obviously, I have more yardage to make too. I have 6 more of each size, each panel. 6 more A, B, C, and D each. All right, so this together. And I have made now a 6.5 inch square. I'll pass that to Scott to press that.
I get the iron.
And we'll sew these. I think this is a fun way to use scraps, because then you really get like a good amount of variety, I guess is the word. Like I'm putting little golf things, golf fabric next to butterfly fabric. I mean, in a regular quilt, you can't do that, but in something like this, you can do whatever you want. The sky is the limit. And it doesn't have to match, because in the end, it all will go together. And it'll make a quilt. Press this. But the goal is to make 6.5 inch blocks to match the... Here, press that for me. All right, and this one's going to go on this. this. And if you haven't been in my channel very long and you're watching a live for the first time and haven't really watched much of my videos, you'll know that scrap quilts are my favorite quilts to make. And my double wedding ring is just an example of using scraps to make a beautiful quilt. All right, here's another block. Scott can press that, but look, they go together really nicely.
Beautiful.
All right, let's do a snowflake fabric.
The butterflies next to the golf fabric is funny. It's comical.
Yes, and a gray one. And let's do...
We got an 81-year-old neighbor man who is a golf fanatic.
Yeah, we have an 81-year-old neighbor who's a golf fanatic. He starts talking golf to Scott, and he's like, "You're talking Swahili to me."
I tell him he's talking Chinese. He's speaking Chinese.
He doesn't. We don't understand golf references or anything. Let's see, I could put 3 of these together. Three 2.5-inch squares makes a 2.5 by 6.5-inch piece. Then I can put those in between. I already used that. Let's go higher up in the pile. Do one on this side and let's put a dragonfly one on this side. So the bin that I just grabbed from is the one that I keep the 2.5 by 8.5, 2.5 by 6.5, and 2.5 by 4.5 inch in. All right, then let's do a puppy dog themed fabric right there, and then let's use one of each of these. Yep, that'll work. Those two together there. And then we'll just put a 2.5, 6.5 there. See? Piece together this. And it never ends up in the same order that I laid it out. That's funny. All right, we'll add one to each side. What is this foot thing is not staying put anymore. The stay put thing. The pedal pad or whatever. That's supposed to keep it in place. It's definitely not been keeping it in place lately. Okay, press that. Now press this. that this way. That's this. And that's this. It really doesn't matter. We'll just leave that way. I can lay it out one way and then I sew it together a different way. The cool part about this quilt, whenever I do finally make something out of all these, is that it will have a little bit of everybody that has sent me fabric in it. So it'd be like a community quilt, because so many people have sent fabric scraps to me. And it even has people that I've long arm quilted for. The scraps that I have left over, because some of my long arm clients don't want their scraps back that I cut off the outside edge, it even has those fabrics in it. So it literally is a little bit of my clients, my fans, and me and my own makings. Here, press that. All right. I'm gonna grab a couple more pieces out of here. This is my 6.5 inch stash, but I do have 6-inch squares in there too. I've already used those two, so I'm not going to reuse them again right now till another day. Stick those on the bottom. Grab this. I need something that totally does not go with that. That totally does not go with it. So here's the one I made previously. So it has some woofs in it. Christmas fabric. Got some dragonflies. Got a flower front and center.
That dog stuff is funny.
Yeah. All right, let's do rail fence style on this one.
If have any questions, ask now.
Yep, if you have any questions, ask now, because there's just a few minutes left, long enough for me to make one more of these blocks. Let's put... We need some outdoor furniture in this one. We'll put some outdoor furniture in there. Put that there. We'll reach down in and grab something from under here. All right. Ooh, let's put that. All right, and then we'll put a 2.5 inch square, which we'll do, reach down in and grab a stripe. All right, let's piece this. If you have any questions, ask while I'm piecing this final block for today. Oh, they're 12.5 inch. I'm pretty sure of it. They look like 12.5 inch. Yep, 12.5 inch blocks. I knew it because I've been doing these for a while. Little by little, I'm able to work on them. But I've been mainly focusing on cutting scraps up lately, so that's why there's so many scraps, because I've been chopping away. It's what I do now every night for about an hour at night. I go in my fabric room and I work for an hour, because that's about all the amount of time I can handle. And see, I don't have to nest these. I can do these totally different too. They don't even have to be on top of each other. They can be however I put them, because it's scraps, and why not? All right, and then I can lay them in here however I want to, but I don't want those two blues touching, so put that way.
So how do you know what size?
How do I know what sizes? Because I did math to figure out what plus what equals what on all the sizes that can create a 6.5 inch block. So I started with 6.5 inch squares. I want to make all of my blocks 6.5 inch squares. Like I said, 2.5 by 2.5, 3 times makes 6.5. 2.5 plus a 4.5 makes 6.5. 1.5 times 2 with, minus your seam makes 2.5 by 4.5, or 6.5, depending on which one you used, 4.5 or 6.5 by 1.5. 2.5 times 3 equals, with, minus your seams, makes 6.5. So no matter what I use, I equal 6.5 inches each time. All right, I'm going to press this last one. And then you can tilt the camera back for the end. All right, there's my final for today. So I made what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks in a half an hour. That's how easy these are. 5 blocks today, just in this short period of time to the end of today's video. So that's not bad.
If you're doing a 5 by 5 and some of the squares are a smidge off, can you still use them?
If you're doing a 5 by 5 and some of the squares are off, can you still use them? Yeah, but then you would be puckering all the other ones, so I would make them all the same size. So if you have 5-inch squares, but not all of them are 5-inch squares, then you need to cut them all down to 4 3/4 or 4.5 inch. That way they all match, because fudging it makes a really loosely, wrinkledy, and or having puckers in your seams quilt, and then it'll change the size. I always just trim everything down. All right, is that it when it comes to questions?
I think so.
All right, so Tuesday, I'm hoping Tuesday, will be a new video, something that everybody's been asking for years since I started my channel, but I had no purpose for it, so I never did it. So hopefully you guys will like that video, and I don't think I have anything else this week. No, I don't. So it'll be next Sunday when I do something, which I don't know what.
What other sizes do you cut your fabric scrap?
I cut my fabric scraps, what you see here on the side. It starts out with 1 inch by 1 inch, 1.5 inch, 2 inch, 2.5 inch, 3, 3.5 inch, 4, 4.5 inch, 5, 5.5 inch, 6, 6.5 inch. I cut 7.5 inch. I cut 8 inch and 8.5 inch. I do not cut 9 or 9.5. I do 10 inch. And then oddball ones are 1.5 by 4.5, 1.5 by 6.5, 2.5 by 4.5, 2.5 by 6.5, 2.5 by 8.5. And then I have my random ones that I make my backing fabric out of, which I don't know all of those off the top of my head. There's even charts hanging on the wall until I get used to it. But that's all my everyday scrap cut sizes. So at any time I can pull out a bunch of 3.5 inch squares and just make a 3.5 inch square quilt. Just take and put, 40 across by 60 down or something, however I want. At any time I can just grab a stack and make something, because I already have it all cut out and ready for me. Like making these, because it's already cut out. And that's what my hour a day does, is preps me for all of this. Anyways, that's it. That's all I got. I'm going to go and put my feet up and have another meal, because all I had so far was a small TV dinner way earlier, 2 ho-hos. I'm really hungry.
That's your
Ho-hos
your
are
meal.
small. Do
A
you
little
guys
TV
remember
dinner and some little ho-hos
the original
and a meal.
ho-hos used to be like this big around by like this long. Now they're these little, they're like this big around now by like this long. All the foods that we loved growing up, all those boxed foods, seriously, they've gotten so small. They're for like children's mouths, not adult mouths. In one bite, gone. Anyways, thank you guys for hanging out, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Bye.